Hey everyone, welcome back to the Balcony Time Podcast. This is Andy, and you're listening to the Monster Mash.
This is Russ. I'm glad to be back, and my body is prepared for quests.
This is Andrew, and I hate paying my rent.
This is Josh, and I am the third heat.
So it's good to be back. It's definitely good to be back. It was enjoyable listening to you guys to the podcast without me. But oh man, do I have so many qualms and nitpicks and varying opinions about all the stuff that you guys discussed. Nearly everything.
So you want to speak to the manager? Is what you're
I
saying?
would.
Hi,
I'm
Karen.
going to Karen this
Yeah,
shit up.
Karen.
No. I mean, I've talked about it.
Well,
off
where were you?
podcasts.
Where were you? Why weren't you here?
Well, that's fair. I was working the Midsummer Renaissance Fair for my company.
Fancy.
So 3 weekends. It was long, but it was fun. But yeah, I mean, I'll just do a quick rundown. Starting with the first one I missed, where you guys were talking about shit getting behind your eyeball. Drove me nuts. Can't do that. There's this thing called the conjunctiva. It attaches to your eyeball.
None of us are doctors.
Nothing is getting behind that. You wear contacts.
I've never tried to put it behind my eye.
Yeah, but the eye doctor, that's like the number one thing an eye doctor is going to answer is when somebody's like, oh, what happens if the contact gets behind my eye? And he's like, you can't.
I've never asked that question.
I think most people did. I did.
Really?
That's how I know. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course. It's a common fear about contacts is getting it lost in your eyeball.
That's what I fear.
They put it in my eye.
I feel like
I was
that's.
like,
I thought that was a common thing that happened.
See, and that was the conversation is
Yeah.
that you guys, it was three people with a common misconception.
I don't
about
wear
contact
glasses,
lenses.
so I blame the rest of you.
That's fair. I mean, we did that just to scare non-contact wearers. No.
Well, I get it. You're jealous. I wake up every day and my eyes just work.
Shut up,
know.
I am.
I am 100% admit I'm jealous of that.
I couldn't give fewer fucks.
It would be one of my 3 genie wishes.
Really?
That's a huge waste.
Oh,
Perfect
yeah. vision.
Yeah.
That's not a waste.
100%.
That's a waste.
That's a dude.
Super
that is
waste.
Absolutely.
No,
because
here's the thing. You could rider that in with like a perfect health wish.
Yeah.
You
Right?
just wish for perfect health.
And then you
Yeah.
might be able to rider that into immortality, which is against genie rules, but maybe you could play with it a little.
Is immortality against genie rules?
In Aladdin, it is.
Mm-hmm. It is in Aladdin.
Yeah, you can't.
Can't live forever.
Yeah.
Or
Can't live forever.
You can't raise anybody from the dead.
Yeah, no
and
one
you
can.
can't make anybody fall in love with you.
And no, you can't kill anybody.
Yeah, I thought it was he couldn't kill anybody for you.
Wait,
Well,
that too. And he
There's
could
only 3. There's
Is
3
there only
rules.
3?
They
3
did
rules,
circumvent it.
3 wishes.
Maybe that wasn't a rule because they did circumvent that by, spoiler alert for, later Aladdin movies. They turned Jafar into a genie.
Okay.
I'm going to look it up. Can't kill anyone. Can't make people fall in love. Can't bring anyone back from the dead.
Okay. So you can't wish for
I
immortality.
also thought that there was no mortality in the wishes. So
No. I mean, if you think about
weird.
it, wishing to be the genie, as powerful as the genie that Jafar does, is an immortality wish.
Mhm.
Sure.
You can just say, "I wish I'd never die. I will never die."
Yeah, I mean, you got a good genie, you got a bad genie. It's hard to suss that out until something backfires on you, and you're like, shit.
I don't feel
I
like
got a
Robin
bad
Williams
genie.
would try to fuck me over on that one, though.
At any rate,
You're alive for like a millennia. There's some people that you just get bored and fuck with.
is bored. Yeah, randomly.
Like,
It's like an impulse, like killing or something.
what if you just
right?
you
It's
rub
like,
them the wrong way? Figure of speech.
I
about the
never
lamp.
knew John
I
was going to
could,
do that. And then
Yeah, with
The
the,
genie
lamp.
does
yeah,
it,
like,
yeah.
I like counterclockwise,
Yeah, like
motherfucker. What have you done?
against the grain, like a cat. Get a pissed off genie cat.
I get that. That would probably happen to me.
That's out of anybody. You or Colin.
at any rate,
Yeah.
my first wish would include perfect vision and nothing falling behind.
Stop wishing
my
for perfect vision.
conjunctivitis.
Stop doing that.
No,
yeah,
it
you have to
would-
phrase it
just-
perfectly.
It would
Live
be,
with your
it
genie.
Would be in it. It would be.
You would
part
just
of that.
wish for like peak physical and mental health.
But the crux of that wish is the perfect vision.
Why is that the crux?
That's the backbone. That's
you
what I
would
want.
rather be cancer and disease and sickness, or you'd rather be perfect vision over like
He
being
could see it
immune to
coming.
cancer
I'd be able to. I'd be able to.
see it coming.
He could see it
I'd be able
coming.
to see the beautiful sunsets. Be able to see the beautiful
And then you
details
died
in,
in
the tree.
6 months because you got freaking lymphomas
But
across
I
your
would.
body.
I would die with full vision
Yeah,
and a full heart.
You're a dingus. It's
You're a
terrible.
Zingus?
I will tell you one of the best wishes you can possibly wish for because I feel it has minimal caveats for a bad genie to fuck with you.
Okay.
Is that you wish for all of the powers and none of the weaknesses of Superman. Done.
It's a pretty good one.
And the reason is even you have to so kryptonite, it's not really a thing. The planet Krypton didn't blow up and seed our planet with shit that kills you. So what's Superman's other weakness? It's like witchcraft and magic. Which if you're using a genie, fucking exists. So you want to get that out of the way because you're like, obviously magic exists. I'm wishing to be Superman through one right now. So you want to get rid of that magical weakness. So all of his strengths,
Solid wish.
I think so.
Solid wish.
Think about it. Covers speed, health, longevity, perfect vision, laser vision, X-ray vision,
Multiple visions.
all
Andrew
the
sold.
visions. Yeah.
What if your like super hearing is turned on all the time? Like you can't turn it off.
That's not Superman's power. That'd be a weakness of a Superman power.
Well, no, that's like his senses, right? But that's like his super sense, right?
You'd have to learn to control it like he did.
But what if part of the genie backfiring is that you can never learn to control it?
That'd be a weakness.
Yeah, that's a weakness.
Oh,
He just said none of the weaknesses.
that's your own mental thing.
That is-
No,
that is
you
kind
gotta
of an-
control.
That would be a weakness of having Superman's powers.
That's an interpretation, though.
Not being able to control your powers is a weakness of powers.
yeah. I feel like
I don't. Think
having
I agree with Russ.
Superman's powers include control of all of his powers.
if you're gonna,
Well, it does. When he used like kryptonite, makes him lose
Why-
control of
why-
his like strength, or if you want to argue it that way. Witchcraft, I think, literally makes all of his powers go wonky. Like that's what magic does to him.
He's just susceptible to it.
It's red kryptonite.
wouldn't there
Red
be
kryptonite
like?
makes him all arrogant and shit.
I thought it makes him lose control of his powers.
Wouldn't there be like people
No,
from?
so there's dude, there is a ton of kryptonites, including a pink one, which makes him gay.
I don't think that's what pink kryptonite does.
No.
That's not even.
Also,
I'm looking it
wouldn't
up
there
real
be
quick.
people
I know you
on
are.
Krypton who
Holy
theoretically?
crap, he's right.
There's
Yes, pink kryptonite is a type of kryptonite that seemingly turns Kryptonians homosexual.
Okay.
Wow.
okay.
And that happened in a Supergirl issue. So there was an excuse to make Supergirl a lesbian?
Sounds
I mean,
probably
that-
like
that-
that was
that- I
manufactured.
mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
In the male dominant era of comic books in that era, that seems par for the course.
Sure.
Is it a stretch?
It truly does.
Is it a stretch to imagine that some Krypton person out there though, like, couldn't control their heat vision very well, and so couldn't use their heat vision,
They just Cyclops.
or they compulsively used X-ray vision all the time for creepy purposes? Or
Well,
something,
first off,
or,
Kryptonians on Krypton don't have superpowers. They're just people
okay, but suppose they came here, and why don't they have those powers?
under a red sun.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, I don't really know the Superman mythos.
Sorry, my nerd is showing.
That's why Zod was such a threat.
Okay.
Because he was another Kryptonian under the red sun. The only
Okay.
reason he wasn't as powerful as Superman is because he wasn't raised here. He didn't have enough
didn't have, like,
time
the
to absorb.
G
Yeah,
training.
Superman just soaks up that energy.
Them rays, though.
Them rays, though. Soaks it up, and over time, it just builds and builds and builds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why like there's scenes of him in the comic books where he's literally out in space, just like floating in front of the sun because he's like
It's like tanning.
he's like charging his batteries
Yeah.
up to max.
Just getting a good base. Hold on. Zod, chill. I need a good base.
There are a ridiculous amount of kryptonites. just
Well, yeah,
among
they got to
them.
have every color.
It's not even every color. They have like X kryptonite and combinations, magno kryptonite. But at the end of the day, we can all just agree that Superman's fucking dumb because he's
Yep.
impossible to do anything about.
Well,
And
It's
just like you can't
You
get
like
sucked down the
Superman, right?
drain, nothing can get stuck behind your eye.
I don't not like Superman.
Oh,
then you were on the wrong side of the fence.
Truth.
Come join the anti-Superman's.
There's plenty of way cooler heroes than Superman.
Yeah.
I am totally willing to admit that. I don't really like a lot of DC heroes, the exception being Batman, of course. Because who
Daredevil's
doesn't
cool.
love Batman? Marvel, by the way. Daredevil.
yeah.
Daredevil's Marvel?
Goddamn right
I
he
don't
is.
fucking know.
You
I-
wouldn't. You're not a nerd. No kidding.
I totally prefer Marvel over DC.
So do I.
Yeah. Anybody with brains does.
I wouldn't go that far
It's a harsh statement, but I'm sticking to it.
because like I feel like DC does a lot of good
Capes and
storyline
cowls.
arcs. I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm not nearly as enough of a comic book buff. I've read a scant few.
Yeah, I can't judge too harshly because I'm not. invested enough in comics, but I mean, I think I've liked every Marvel property that I've watched or absorbed than pretty much every DC property, with the exception of Batman.
With the exception of the
Batman's great.
The whole Batman universe, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I just I don't want to hate on Superman just because of his longevity, and
You should hate him because he's a fucking Boy Scout.
he is a Boy Scout. But
I don't even hate him because he's a Boy Scout. I hate him because he's...
There are cool versions of Superman, though.
There are. Do you know
Well,
they're making
yeah.
a Red Sun animated movie?
Really?
Yeah.
I'd be totally down to watch that. So, like, Red Sun Superman, very cool. Superman from Injustice, like Gods Among Us, very cool. It's pretty much when Superman goes like, you know what, we're going to play by my rules now instead of
when he's tired of the
BS,
human
yeah.
moral code that he keeps following. He's like,
The
"Ah,
night Clark Kent went crazy.
So you're telling me when he's not a Boy Scout, he's good?
Yeah, that's my favorite versions of him.
Okay.
Also, the Superman raised by Darkseid is pretty badass.
That sounds terrifying.
That does. I like it.
That's
That sounds
why
like
The
Marvel did
Fucking
it.
Boys is such a good fucking show.
Yeah,
Because you
I don't
have
know.
Superman,
As a real Superman.
but he's fucking psychotic, and it's fantastic.
Though they did when I like something, I start reading into it. They did cut a scene from The Boys that was very prominent in the comic books, apparently.
Not surprising. They probably did a lot of stuff in the
No,
comics.
it was
Yeah.
really just this one scene that they cut, and it's Homelander flies to like the top of the tallest building in New York and whips it out and just starts jerking it, and is like, "That's right, New York. That's right."
Try and stop me.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
about right.
I'd like to say that I would not do that, but fuck, if you could get all the way up there and
That shit's like the singularity.
at least
It's
take a
like
pee.
You can't,
At least take a pee.
you can't really.
I would take a
grok
pee off of it.
what you would do
Exactly.
Yeah.
in scenarios of like absolute power like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
I know I would definitely pee.
So what were your qualms about?
Yeah, let's
the
get back
last-
to your
yeah,
list.
let-
Let's
the
get
la-
back to your
last
list,
three
ma'am.
episodes.
So critique one: we are not physiological experts on the eye.
Yes, and your genie wishes are dumb.
Agreed.
I would also agree with that.
I spend a lot of time doing genie wishes, shower thoughts, man.
It's a genie. It's not real.
I have
I'll
refined
follow up my
wishes.
critique with some kudos because the preepy, being preepy,
Well, that's
is-
going to get into the dictionary.
well, it needs to
Yeah.
be. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Everything about it.
You're
Laughed
welcome.
my ass off. Yes, I appreciate it. Both. I think it was a tag team effort between you two.
I think it was mostly
Was
you
these
two
two?
driving it. Yeah, Josh. And,
I
Josh and
really
Andrew.
like that word.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, Andrew really carried the torch.
I've been preepy
Yeah.
before, so it's like I feel it.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
definitely.
So, especially watching
That little,
Homeward
getting
Bound.
older.
that
Homeward
little
Bound.
breath.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump.
Dude,
Up.
That should be a new
Homeward
category.
Bound,
of
all those
movie.
animals are dead right now.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm a
Yeah,
little
whatever.
creepy.
I'm an adult. Animals die. I didn't. You came out of left field, just like knocking the Stargate.
Yeah.
First of all, I've never seen all of Stargate. My main purpose for sitting down and watching Stargate is that I'd only seen a handful of episodes, like growing up on USA or something like that,
Yeah.
or like maybe Sci-Fi Channel. But it's like I feel like it was on something else before that.
TNT?
Probably.
Anyhow.
Some sort of turn. Yeah, maybe.
And so I wanted to give it an actual shot because it's nerdy and.
I watched a lot of that show.
I started keeping a list of things that I had complaints about in that show, but I lost track. I was just like, okay. And they're not like, this show's terrible. It's just, this is
There
why
can't be.
you are always relegated to like a C+ sci-fi show.
Yeah.
Like, I would consider a step above Babylon 5, but I've never watched Babylon 5, so
I would too. I
'Cause
think
you
it's
have
more
pride
fun
in
than
yourself.
Babylon 5.
I believe so.
I think it's a more fun show than Babylon 5.
Yeah. I mean, the Monster of the Week stuff works really well when you're literally just jumping through random portals.
Yeah.
So there's that. Plus, I don't know. I haven't watched enough of Stargate to really get a good feeling of the overarching story, but it seems like there's a lot of meat there in between the dumb decisions that they make.
My problem with Stargate is one of missed potential, right?
Which is often my
Yeah,
complaint about things.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's honestly my biggest complaint. The other one is I understand that it's not like a huge budget show, right? You can see that in the props and the effects and stuff like that.
That's no excuse for bad storytelling.
It isn't. And I don't think it I don't think it makes the storytelling any worse. I think just the overall show is worse because of it. I think they needed to figure out a different budget instead of like the giant sets that they'd be on. Figure something else out. Like allocate the budget properly, make it look good.
I mean, so far, if I had to guess, they spent like 70% of their out of studio shoots in like the redwoods of California.
Yeah.
So that's like every planet is the redwoods of California.
Yeah.
So
Well, if it worked for Lucas, why not?
right, yeah, just I mean,
Yeah, but he made it
it's like
entertaining.
people have never seen big trees before. Now we live
That's-
in Oregon.
that's-
There's
Yeah,
a lot
so
of
we
people
see a
who've
lot of
not
those
seen
big
big trees before.
But so those big trees are fascinating, right? They're
cool.
redwoods are
Absolutely.
great.
I
Redwood
love 'em.
forest is great. Okay, but Lucas made them better. Like he made his set, his environment, part and integral to what was happening on screen. That those chases would not have been nearly as great as they were, like the speeder bikes, if they weren't flying through, copses of giant trees. Right.
Speaking of speeder bikes, who's following me to the promised land? I have 3 letters followed by 2 words for everybody. FPV drone racing. Follow me there.
For the listeners, Andy just discovered first-person drone racing.
And I'm going all in with that stuff.
He's only like 5 years behind the curve.
That's it, though. Like, it's in its nascent form. They're just getting this stuff organized within the last 3 or 4 years. There's like a league devoted to it. There's prize purses.
Yeah.
I heard
And I
that
have the
they
name.
are going to have it in the Olympics.
It looks really cool. It looks really fascinating.
No. The best part, this came to me like Dirk Diggler's name in the movie. It was like in neon signs with flashing lights all around it.
You're going to be a
We're
star.
we're the Kessel Runners.
Big, bright, shiny star.
We're the Kessel Runners.
I do like that name.
Yeah,
I do too. I mean,
It's good. It's
that
very
is-
Someone's
strong.
going to
is-
steal it from you now.
they can't. I came up with it. You can't steal it.
Yeah,
now.
this podcast is dated.
Yeah.
I-
Step up off my Kool-Aid.
I love the idea and I approve. I won't be joining in though.
You should.
Oh, man.
He's financing this podcast.
That's true.
He's
I
good.
have
He has
some obligations.
expenses, son.
I have some obligations. $1,000 does not seem like it would get like entry level.
I'm surprised.
The-
When he told me last night. I was
So
surprised.
the main pieces of equipment are the
Yeah.
goggles
Mm-hmm.
and the radio transmitter.
Yeah.
And the goggles, like top-notch goggles with the kick-ass receivers antenna on there, looking at like $650, $700.
Sure.
And then for the really good transmitter, you're looking at you could spend like $150 to $250 basically,
Why do you need goggles?
so that
you can
I
see
can
through the
be
ground.
in the cockpit of
Yeah.
this starship.
Oh, okay.
It's first
as I'm
person view.
flying around.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. You need goggles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see the allure of it more. Now it seems more fun because I thought you were just like,
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you like the idea of flying starships?
I feel like space is terrifying, so no.
Yeah, but
well-
you got to do it without being in space.
Okay.
Yeah. You get to do this.
I
Dude,
want
you get to
I
do
wanna
this.
rain
You
on
get
his
to do this
parade.
from a lawn chair. You get to do
That's
this
the-
from a lawn chair.
Okay, so that's one of my problems here though is a racing game versus driving fast in a car.
way cooler.
There's a huge diffence. I love
One
racing
of them might
games.
kill you.
Well,
Right.
yes, but one of them is an experience. The other one is 50 cents.
I feel like it's still an experience.
I don't know, man.
Everything. I mean,
Well, no,
without being pedantic.
I'm
about
trying-
everything
I'm-
being
I'm-
an experience. but-
I'm not trying to downplay it. I think it is super fucking cool. But to compare it to flying a starship, I think is little.
I don't think there's anything else that could come closer to that.
You're right. That's the
without being,
closest we
like,
get.
Going into the enlisted forces and becoming a jet
Like
fighter.
a fighter
Yeah.
pilot.
I mean,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, this
joining
is
Space
a way
Force.
to be a fighter pilot without having to be in the military, and that is really cool.
Yeah.
I feel
No.
like you're going to use it for more nefarious means.
I just want to race people and do cool fucking tricks.
Do you know if we have that around our valley?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't
but
think so either. I think you're gonna be the
I'm,
first.
I'm gonna plant the flag.
If,
It
dude,
would be really easy to set up one of those fields.
yeah, for sure.
Set up a course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you just got to find somebody with a field that
Find
will allow you
room.
to do that. Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
And then
I
the
am
cool
too.
thing is,
I always have
well,
been.
I'll keep you guys on it. And then as soon as I get those goggles and I got my drone phone, we'll go fly that shit.
All right.
But then the cool thing about the drones is you build them, right? So like once you have that big initial cost setup, like the transmitter and the goggles, they'll stay with you. But then you crash the drones all day long.
Yeah.
Man,
which is comforting.
Yeah, you can get away with, like, if you're building, like, a competitive fucking racing drone, you could spend, like, $300 in parts and putting that together. But if you just want something that's fast and still, like, agile, is going to do flips and would, like, zip around at 80 miles an hour or whatever, you can do that for, like, $99, $100.
I feel like they're light enough that even a relatively small electric motor is going to
Yeah.
get those things moving pretty fast, right?
Right. But the real experience is going to come in having that awesome feed
Mhm.
and great controls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about the prevalency of just little tiny cheap drones.
Yeah.
Little quadcopters. Like you can buy one for like $20 and
Yep.
it'll do what it's supposed to do.
And even those things fucking move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Pretty
zip
good.
around a little bit.
For sure. Yeah, I'm not trying to poo-poo the idea. I think it's awesome.
No, I was telling him last night when we were talking about it, when I got to fly it around, a lot of fun. When I was back working at Blackstone, I was looking at DJI.
Yeah.
The DJI drone and stuff because I want to do like the commercial stuff because I figured sometimes somebody shoots something with one of those drones. It's just
Beautiful.
so beautiful.
It's almost always just so gorgeous, right?
It's
you can almost
smooth.
film anything, and
Yeah.
it's gorgeous.
You can.
One of those, yeah. Running a nice GoPro
Mhm.
Camel on like this 360 gimbal
Yeah.
attached to the bottom of them.
Most of them have built-in cameras, so you don't really get a choice in.
The DJI's
Well,
don't.
the photography
Some
ones?
of the DJIs
Yeah.
do, like
the
the
photography
Phantoms.
ones, you kind of put your own shit in.
Yeah, so the Phantoms and stuff, the stuff that's more popular with DJI, those are all built in.
I don't think it's built in.
Yeah, I mean they
I'm almost
come with a
positive
camera.
it may come with a camera. I don't think it's built in. Like it's just
Yeah, it may be
literally
swappable.
attached to a
Yeah, that
just
very well
attached to
could be the case.
gimbal.
Yeah, that very well could be the case.
But that'd be fun.
Yeah. I know I was going to get into it sort of for the photography aspect, and then I was like reading about what am I getting myself into, look up drones. And then I came across those videos of these dudes in goggles. I
Yeah.
was like, these guys are in the Matrix. And
It
I
is
want to
cool.
join them.
It is cool.
Your excitement is palpable. So I mean, like
Yeah, stay
it's
tuned.
just
I'm-
good
I'm-
to see someone excited about a thing. I like that. So
Kessel
I'll give you
Runners.
that.
I'm telling you, the Kessel Runners.
it's a sweet fucking name.
We're
though.
going to
Sweet
win
fucking
whatever championships are out there. Give us 2.5, 3 years. The Kessel Runners will be on the fucking drone racing map. I mark my words.
Words marked.
All
Speaking
right.
of marking my words, last podcast, Colin, our guest star, close friend, love him bunches, tried pawning off the Sword of Truth series, him watching the TV show on me, and I want it publicly noted that's not what happened. He introduced me to the book series, got me to foolishly read 3 of them before I realized what a god-awful pile of smoking trash his writing is. Before I stopped, and I happened to mention, oh yeah, they're making a TV series about that, but it was like a cable television series about a fantasy book series. So I think going in, you should know what you're getting into. It's going to be
Not
Hercules, Xena style
I was
quality.
just gonna
at
say so. It's
best.
Stargate.
or fair. I mean, I won't even deny that. Like at best, you're
Stargate was at least made in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
This was made it's a while ago now.
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
I do.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
that Hercules, that Xena feel.
It's got
Absolutely.
that Xena
Yeah.
look.
Do
Yeah.
your hands feel washed now?
a little bit. I know there was more, but it would probably get too hostile.
At
Yeah.
least you got that one off.
I don't have
you
Nick
know.
here to the courtesy of a counter argument, so I won't talk about idle clickers.
So wow.
Well,
there
there's no
is
problem.
very little to talk about idle clickers. Like you click them idly. It's
Yeah, it's
That's-
pretty much
that's the
it's
problem
pretty
with
much in
them.
the name, right?
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know.
it is. Yeah, it tells you what it is. So while we were on the subject of TV, did you guys hear about the guy that's going around? I think it's Texas, with a TV on his head,
Leaving TVs.
leaving TVs.
That's
I
funny.
heard about that.
Dude, I think that's just great.
I literally only read the headline. I felt like I got enough information from it. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that's the world I live in.
Oh yeah,
That's funny.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's totally innocent. Fun.
Honestly, I'm jealous of whoever has the time to do that kind of fun thing.
Well, hopefully it's a hoarder and he's just getting rid of this shit finally. You know what I mean? Or
You
maybe he
take
just
my trash.
maybe he just raided the Goodwill after they said they'd stop taking tube TVs.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's fine. But I think
Is there any speculation as to
no. So nobody knows who he is. Nobody's. Yeah, I mean,
no
so
notes with the TVs
well,
or nothing?
This also isn't the first time. So this is actually the second year in a row that he's done this. And just it seems like this time of year you can catch him on your Ring doorbell leaving you a tube TV.
Weird.
Yeah, like
Well,
some
you
dude
know,
out of
everybody
Daft
needs a
Punk.
hobby.
Well, I don't know if I'd classify that as a hobby. And,
Maybe it's a compulsion, and we should be worried.
this man is dangerous, you know.
Well, you know.
But I love that idea, man. It's just those fun, harmless pranks are like my favorite.
Yeah, like when you fork someone's lawn.
Yeah, exactly.
Or steal
Perfect.
a political sign.
Well, that's less.
Or swap
Let's
them.
not, yeah,
Or swap
relocate.
them. Relocate
Yeah.
them is more
Yeah,
fun.
sharing
Yeah.
the love.
Yeah.
For sure. Like I it was a lot of fun as kids to take the opposing candidate's sign, put it in somebody else's yard, take the other opposing candidate's sign, and put it back in their yard.
Yeah, no, that's
So
just
swap
good
them.
fun.
See,
That was
everybody,
fun.
we were causing political strife well before Facebook
That's
even
right.
existed.
Oh
You
man,
just had to do that manually.
yeah, just back in the day, dude.
I used to live for TPing houses. There was like
Yeah.
a few years of my life where I lived for that shit.
That does not surprise me, though.
I like
Not even a little bit.
I remember I had a couple of friends who you guys didn't really know that well. I don't know if you ever met them, but they were about a year older than me. Their names were Dustin and Mike, and that's
Bad
what
kids
kind of like.
hanging out with the wrong crowd,
Yeah,
TPing
no,
houses.
His mom was friends with my mom, and that's how I knew them. Anyway, they would drive around. We'd zip around, just speeding through town, being little punks, but not crazy punks. Anyway, we would TP people's houses. And one night, we were at, I think it was Winco or Food for Less, one of the 24-hour grocery stores, and we were buying like a 32-pack of toilet paper. I shit you not. There is nobody in this grocery store, okay? We go to checkout, and there's 2 checkouts open for some weird reason. 7 rows down, we see another group of kids buying nothing but toilet paper. And it was like this beautiful moment. We went over to them and we're like, you guys want to join forces? They were like, yeah. They had firecrackers on them. And so we went and just
up in the
decked
game.
this house in toilet paper, lit firecrackers in the street, and bounced. It was so much fun. But I couldn't believe the odds. That
Juvenile delinquency.
I wonder
Serendipitous.
how much of the world's toilet paper supply goes to being like used as house toilet paper.
That's a good question.
I would never TP a house. That's like
You've never done it?
no. That to me, that's like
Oh.
I think about having to clean that shit up. Maybe it's
You see,
just the older.
yeah, I have
older
too.
West now, but
Yeah, I have too. Until my dad was like, "Yeah, it's fun, but cleaning that up is the
it's
worst."
a nightmare.
Yeah,
Especially when you get it in the trees.
or it gets wet.
It gets
like
yeah,
morning
it's going to
dew
get wet.
just makes
it's
it
a
stick to
guarantee. It's going to
everything.
get wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, as an old curmudgeonly man, I don't want that all over my place.
Yeah.
It would break down really
Well,
easily, though, right?
The thing
Just
I
toast it
used
off.
to do was tip
Yeah.
over porta potties. That was my favorite
That's worse.
thing to do.
That's
It's-
worse.
It is
Also bad.
worse.
Yeah.
Toilet paper's still involved.
Once again, you two doing any of the shit, it's not surprising to me. You probably just, seriously, all through high school, all you needed to do was someone to tell you to do something.
if it
That was
sounded
like-
funny, I'd do it.
Yeah, if it was semi-destructive or funny, you'd be like, oh, yeah, what's happening now? I can't count the amount of balls pressed on glass, shit dunked in drinks.
Well, you
Yeah.
got to leave your mark somehow, I suppose.
Or
Yeah,
not
those
leave your
poor-
mark
those
somehow.
poor curtains.
As the case may be.
The poor curtains.
Those poor curtains.
Those poor curtains.
Yeah, and then we hung out with Andrew, who's an instigator. So you two together was the worst.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you guys broke Colin's tailbone twice
It's honestly
on
still
two
the
different
worst.
occasions.
You guys still do some crazy hijinks together.
Yeah.
You might not remember this, but I woke you up the other night.
I do remember this. I was furious.
He's passed out on the couch, and I'm over saying hi to Mike, and there was a tube of Pringles on the counter or on the table. And so I started taking the Pringles and putting them on Josh's face like in a scale mail pattern, and he comes to with 7 Pringles on his face, and not even get the fuck out of my house, fuck you, man, just get the fuck out, get the fuck out.
I was very upset.
You were violated in your own home.
Yes.
Dude, it's the PTSD from us drawing on his face and doing all the stuff that we did when he passed out.
Yeah, there's a lot of that shenanigans.
Yeah,
Well, you know.
I ate those Pringles; they were tasty.
Josh's face
If you-
Pringles.
you-
Yeah,
Well,
Mm,
yeah,
face
add that
Pringles.
extra salt.
he adds flavor to anything.
Yeah.
Tears of a rapper. Yeah. I think that's all I had really to complain about. The Dark Tower series, you guys talked about that. I think somebody was recommending you read it.
I'm not
Don't-
going to. No,
Don't read it. I don't care
I'm
how
over
much I
Stephen King.
enjoyed parts of that series. If you are going to fuck over the ending, you've wasted my time.
Yep.
That's how I feel. I mean,
Well, how long is the series?
8 books. Each
So
book's
a
like,
lot of time.
they're
Then.
not small either. I'm pretty sure they're like 1,000 pages, roughly averaged.
Okay.
So you're not reading like a 8-page Goosebumps book or something, you know? Yeah. And then the movie, like that, we knew that was going to be bad. No, people that didn't even read the books.
We watched. There was some of that playing when we were in that hotel, and
I like Idris Elba,
it
though.
looked like it was a good movie, like visually. No,
Stupid.
It's
bad.
The scene I saw was intriguing.
No.
Idris Elba's pretty great.
Idris Elba is a sexy man beast.
Was that the lead?
Yeah.
He plays Roland.
Yeah.
Which I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
To have Black Roland.
I feel like he did the best he could with what he was given.
I could see him.
The
being
character
a
seemed like a
Roland.
badass.
Yeah. Well, Idris Elba is, in fact, badass.
So I didn't actually watch it, but Idris Elba's awesome. The movie's bad.
Yes.
Okay.
What else is he?
That's kind of what I expected.
The Wire.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. That's where I recognize it
That's
from.
what I know him
And
most
also
from.
The Office.
He's also in The Office. Yeah.
He is in The Office.
Oh, he's the
Heimdall.
manager, right?
Yeah, he
He's
makes
Heimdall
it. Yeah,
in
he makes it great.
Thor.
Yeah.
The Marvel
Okay.
stuff.
That's
The
right.
Rainbow Bridge Keeper.
Yeah.
Wow,
He's in
sort of prolific.
Hobbs and Shaw,
I didn't realize that.
which I saw. It was fun.
Yeah. It looked.
It was fun.
Fun.
Like a surprising amount of the one-liners did not hit for me. But at one point, The Rock just punches his arm out of a window, grabs a dude on a motorcycle that's driving by,
Yeah. I saw
like
that in
right,
the trailer.
and just was like, yeah, it was pretty fucking sweet.
That's not how physics work.
No, it's not. The Rock's arm got tore off, but it was a lot of fun.
You
The
can't
best
tear
moving
rocks.
vehicle snatch will always be Brock Sampson through the front windshield.
You're goddamn right. It's going to be Brock Sampson.
Yeah. So animated. So obviously, if you never watched Venture Brothers, you are
Missing
denying
out.
yourself a pleasure in life.
You
It is
truly are.
fantastic.
It's wonderful.
It
The
is
first
great.
couple episodes are like many good things.
It's
a little
set up.
rough.
Yeah.
It's set up. It's not even rough. It's just set up.
They're finding a groove.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's
You
like
gotta,
Parks
I
and
mean,
Rec.
you know, you got to.
Well, and the
Excellent
thing is,
point.
Yeah.
Excellent.
They were finding
point.
their groove. They found it. It was gold.
when you're
Golden.
doing something that is unlike anything else, you're in uncharted territory, right? And so just
Yeah.
by that nature,
It's the make or
people
break
aren't
point.
gonna know how to feel about it right away. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can nail it the first time, congrats. Some shows manage to do it right from the start.
Yeah.
Others take a time.
Well, I feel like that would come down to producers, right? I mean, someone who's done it
knows?
before
Not
a lot of
necessarily.
times, or directors, because it's
It's
like
going to help to have experience, but I'd say virgin directors and stuff can still come out of left field and be like,
And
boom.
you can even pivot a bad character and turn him into a good character, right? Or her.
very
I think
true.
about Kevin Smith making Clerks.
Right.
Yeah.
Clerks is fantastic. I don't care what anybody says.
And it's a shoestring movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a delight to watch.
It's fun. Well, you
I'm
guys
not
ready?
even supposed to be here today.
It's supposed to be here.
You guys ready to take a break?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right,
All right,
here's
we're
a
going to
break.
take a break, and we'll have a message from me here now. Hey, everybody. I just wanted to take a moment to thank you again for listening in, and just to let you know that you can follow us now on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And, of course, we're always going to be available on your favorite directories like iTunes, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, and YouTube. You can find us on Twitter at Balcony Time PC. You can follow us on YouTube at BT Podcast. You can also go to our Instagram, that's Balcony Time Podcast. And as always, you can go to btpodcast.com to find all of this information. Again, we want to thank you. Send us an email, leave us a comment, leave us a review. We appreciate it all. And now back to the Balcony Time Podcast.
So I met a very interesting person with an occupation. It was he's in charge of a company that does the advertising for PornHub. Yeah, they do all the advertising on the website and stuff for a lot of adult
Like they
websites,
make them?
but yeah, they control all of it. So
Like control it. Does that mean like creatively, or
Like the
they
banner
decide
you
where
see?
it's put?
yeah, like he's
Okay.
telling me it's a good day at work and stuff when you can walk down the cubicle row and you see boobs on somebody's
Sure.
screen.
So
and
that's
you're
kind
like,
of what I was
"It's working
wondering.
hard
It's
today."
like you're making the ads, and you're
Yep.
just looking
So,
at pictures of women and taking.
Do you frequent Pornhub?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Do you frequent Pornhub?
yes.
Yeah. I mean, I feel it's safe to say that, like, if you're going to look at porn on the internet,
Pornhub's
It's
the place
first
to do
thing-
it.
It's the first one that shows up.
I don't do much porn.
Okay, well,
But, I've been there.
Well, yeah, you know
I know what
it
you're
is,
talking
you know it's
about.
aware.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so it was just happened to coincide when I was having dinner with him present and stuff that I was aware that Pornhub had been pushing their live service pretty heavily lately, their live cams.
Yeah, it's like for videos.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's not that big a deal. Live cam, stuff like that is pretty prevalent on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
But it was interesting being able to talk to him about how, like, they're pushing that campaign and he's running advertising for it and whatnot. And then, like, a week goes by and I started getting redirect ads on Pornhub where, you go to click on one of the videos and stuff and it redirects you to some garbage ass flashing bullshit redirect advertising page, something completely not even relevant to Pornhub, and the next time I saw him I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, why would you guys switch over to these redirect ads? And he just looked at me and like shrugged. He was like, makes money.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
Fuck you.
That's literally like, now you've crossed a threshold where my tolerance for like forced advertisements has been exceeded, and I will stop frequenting your site. I don't care how popular you are. That's how you die.
Those are the worst ads on the internet.
They are.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I mean that
Like,
harkens back to like
can't hit the back
2002.
button half the time.
And which ones are we
style
talking about? Are we
advertising.
talking about the pop-up ones that are like...
But it's
giving
not a
you-
pop-up.
Oh, okay.
Pop-ups barely exist in my world. I
Right.
use my phone. So you click on a link,
Mhm.
and it takes you away from that page to another page for whatever this advertising is, and it's usually garbage, like just flashing text and stuff about, oh, your phone's got a virus or something.
Right.
I
So,
don't know.
yeah.
And about 75% of the time, you can't just click the back button
To get
go,
back to the
get back
site.
to where you go.
Yeah,
It
you have
will
to
put you
retype
in
the
the
address
redirect
or
loop.
go back to the search.
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally the cancer of all advertising. And I was like, oh,
How does that make money?
Because people who fall for it click on the OK
not
or
even
check
that.
out my what?
they will literally, if they can force you to visit a link, then they get revenue for a clicked link.
Okay.
So
So-
people don't have to click on something anymore because they're getting force redirected.
So they don't even need to interact with that ad. Like when it says, "Hey,"
But still, a
your
surprising
phone
amount of
needs to be
people
updated.
will.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not on Pornhub to make sure that people interact with that ad. It's on the company that are offering whatever that ad is offering.
Sure.
To do that. So Pornhub just says like, we'll get them to look at your thing. That's
Right,
all
okay.
advertising is.
That's what I was.
Yeah.
I wanted
And then
to
the
make
company
this
has to
assumption.
decide whether or not the money that they're putting into that advertising is seeing a return on
Gotcha.
investment.
So Pornhub's just giving them the space.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've sold out. They've gone to the dark side.
bastards.
I'm like, this is why people started going to your website, is because you didn't have these,
Yeah.
and
Right.
now you do.
Because it was like a safe place to go virus-wise. For your enjoyment.
And they fucked it up.
Yeah, it was bound to happen, man. When they have a monopoly over the entire industry, they're going to monetize the shit out of it.
They don't have a monopoly over
They
that.
do.
No,
Yeah.
they don't.
Oh, totally. They do.
No, they don't. Monopoly means that they're a company that controls like all porn on the
they
internet.
basically do.
They don't.
Yeah,
Nah,
they-
dude. As long as people can buy camcorders or recorders of some kind,
As long
and
as they
Well,
upload videos,
Pornhub
then-
is a parent. It has like
Pornhub is an umbrella
RedTube.
company.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They don't have.
I know there's
sole
other. Yeah, no, they don't have
access.
sole porn
Anybody-
access on the
There's a
Anybody
internet.
can make porn.
million websites that you can go to
Anybody
as an
can make porn.
alternative to Pornhub.
It's not. Nope, can't say owns when you're looking up anything.
Pornhub owns porn.
Yeah, that's not.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Okay, so it is not a monopoly in the
Definition of
literal
monopoly.
definition of it, but they own so much of the industry. Like,
They have the largest market
The
share.
largest presence.
but
yeah, for sure.
But we're not talking like an Apple versus Android thing. We're talking like they own almost the entire market. They're huge because basically, if you don't put your stuff on Pornhub or become like a collaborator with Pornhub, they'll just get you shut down. They own the traffic as far as porn goes. It's like VHS versus Betamax. Everybody went VHS because the porn was there. Everybody goes to Pornhub because they have the largest library of porn.
Do they?
Oh yeah, by far. I actually read into this not long ago. I can't quote anything because it's been too long, but they nearly
You're using
monopolize
porn
the market.
wrong.
What?
You're using porn wrong. You're using porn to learn. That's really disappointing, bro.
Dude, information gets me hard.
Well, you know.
I learned 5 new facts before he can climb.
Speaking
Dude,
of like,
Wikipedia is my
speaking
thing.
of information and learning,
Till I learned, till I came.
have you guys heard of on PornHub this dude named Ryan Creamer?
No.
He makes these like wholesome videos
Okay.
on PornHub and posts them up there, and they're like videos of him like it's like Ryan Creamer tucks you into bed tonight, and it's like a little 30-second video of him like, all right, have a good night, like.
So when
real
you say he
sweet.
posts them to Pornhub, like they will just show up and like
He's a verified account.
Okay,
That's
and
weird.
that is weird, but I kind of
It's like
I
it's
really
like
like
a
that.
gag. It's like a gag,
Yeah.
and now it's like blown up into this viral gag that he does.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him for
Way to
marking
be a
his
different
place.
gag on Pornhub, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, don't search for gag on Pornhub.
Speaking
Or
of
do.
that,
It's your
speaking of
favorite.
that,
Yeah,
I mean,
don't
or
kink
do.
shame him.
Yeah, or do, you know, whatever.
speaking of gagging, I was thinking, I was listening to some lyrics in a song earlier, and it was it used the term cocksucker in a derogatory manner,
Mhm.
and I realized I hate when people refer to sucking cock or giving blowjobs in a derogatory manner, especially when women are around, because I don't want that to have a negative connotation associated with it, because I feel like if you start putting a negative connotation associated with it, then you're sort of going counter to what you would
I
want.
don't think
right?
it has a real effect.
I do think it does.
No, but
I'm subconsciously aware of it.
I was thinking about this before, like the exact same subject, but on the flip side, when I was driving back and forth, it just popped in my head. I'm like, carpet muncher.
Right.
Carpet muncher was used as a slur
Right.
to describe lesbian activities, and I'm
Right.
like, why would you ever view that in the negative? Like
Yeah.
that's just winning all around, right? I mean, if you're a lesbian, then you got somebody that obviously cares about your pleasure, and if you're a dude, you know, it's good to watch ladies having a go at each other.
Right.
It's like what, and I think it all comes down to that weird integrated homophobia
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
like
totally.
the
Mhm.
90s, like when we were younger and stuff, to where we just casually used stuff that was blatant.
Oh, that homophobia
Oh,
is
yeah.
older than the 90s.
No. I mean, for
Well,
us specifically,
yeah.
like when we
For
used to call each other
when-
like faggot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and now
Gay
like
wad, whatever. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, I would
Oh,
I say
don't be gay.
I say
Yeah.
fuck 10,000 times more than I would ever even consider saying saying faggot or
Yeah.
fag. But when I was a kid,
Didn't
All
even
the time.
cross my mind.
All the
yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we used it pretty liberally, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you could hear, you know, as you got older, stuff, carpet muncher would be, at least in my family, could be used as a derogatory statement. But we are delightfully partially white trash. So,
Definitely white trash roots.
Little red on that neck is what you're saying.
for sure.
That's all right.
No shame.
But yeah, especially when
I like NASCAR, so, I mean.
especially when I'm just like, why are you hurting the cause, dude? Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
I hear you.
Talk
Mhm.
about
Dude,
All right.
honestly, it's one of my favorite words. Although I don't actually use it in a derogatory manner.
What, cocksucker?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I use it in a Deadwood manner, which was
Oh my
originally
God, that
derogatory,
is-
but
yes.
Which is, yeah.
By
or-
choice.
Yeah.
You got to add the by choice on there.
Cocksucker by choice.
I'm,
yeah.
I'm never going. No, that ruins the flow. I'm sorry. I'm just not cocksucker by choice.
Yeah,
I'm just-
I mean,
No,
to still
you
use those
suck
seems like
cock
you're still being
By choice
Homophobic.
is what I.
What's-
It's also in Deadwood. It's what one of the other bar people yelled. He's like, "You suck cock by choice."
yeah.
About the big wheeled bike, I think.
Yeah.
God,
what was that?
Deadwood.
It was the
Yeah.
bone shaker.
The
Mhm.
bone shaker.
The
Yeah.
bone shaker.
Mhm.
No, were you about to say something?
I think it's just clearly an instance of people being homophobic. If you
Right.
take offense to someone, not just, I mean, there's one aspect of being offended because someone's just slandering you in general, but to take extra offense at being associated with someone who sucks cock is a homophobic thing. It's like,
Sure.
and it's, you know, it'd be guys calling other guys cocksuckers. I'm like, I wouldn't suck a cock, machismo. I'm not gay. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think you'd probably hear that too often directed at a female.
No, but if a female is witnessing that and it's like negatively interpreted either
I'm sure
consciously
that
or
they
subconsciously.
they know the context as well, as that it's the gay context that is being thrown around. I don't think they necessarily equate it with themselves.
Yeah, I don't think it has any. I
no,
don't think it has
but-
any
but-
impact on
But it
whether they are
could-
going to suck your cock or not.
I
mean,
think
I
it
get what you're saying.
could be. It doesn't help.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I mean,
It certainly
sure.
doesn't
If
help.
it's a negative at all, then yeah, you might as well just.
Or
Let's avoid
if you
that.
take zero offense to it, maybe it does help.
That's true.
Well, that's
Look
my
at him,
point.
he's
It's painted
cool
in a
and
positive
edgy.
light, right?
Sure.
Painted in a positive light. and
Okay.
then
So you're
maybe-
so you're saying
maybe
it
more people would be
influences.
down to suck your cock, right?
I don't. I think maybe it influences like 1%.
I don't know, man. I think on a subconscious level,
Dude, I
So
don't.
you want
I
to
don't
use it in a
think.
positive light?
What's that?
So you want to use it in a positive light? Like, oh, hey, way to score that touchdown, cocksucker.
Good job, cocksucker.
Good job, cocksucker. Way to go on that promotion.
You really sucked that cock.
Yeah, like, I mean, yeah.
Dude, I've never seen a cock sucked like that before. Good
Ooh,
job.
boy.
I
That
feel
is
like
one world class sucking of cock.
there'd be a lot more blowjobs being given.
Well, okay, you changed my mind.
Yeah, no, I'm...
Yes, if society viewed that as a merit of achievement with varying grades,
That's win-win.
that's
It is win-win. You're
All
right.
right, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
conceded.
Yeah.
Well said, sir.
Point.
I don't know if it was well said.
Point taken.
But it is
Cock sucked.
important.
It's out there. It's out there.
Yeah. So we were talking a little bit about manscaping earlier, and it brought up like devices used. Man, so that
Some horror stories out there
like what?
about like manscaping.
Well, I can
horror
honestly say
stories.
that when I use
Horror stories.
my wall hair trimmer, which is made for your head,
Yeah.
it's like $40 off of Amazon. Great clippers.
Great clippers. I have a similar one. I
yeah,
think.
it's a color coded one.
Mhm.
It's got little color guides on.
Yeah,
it, all
no,
that
it's
stuff.
great.
Fantastic. Get the little kit. But I will consistently at least nick myself one time when trimming my manscaped area, without fail. Even
Yeah.
like metal guard up, size 0, clippers on. Somehow I'll manage to at least get one nick, and it's really irritating. This is why I was excited about this potential manscaping device that claims that it won't do that.
I
like
just
a
don't-
hair removal.
I don't believe you can have a metal device that is like going at
Yep,
you
I
know,
don't trust that.
600 RPM that won't that can't.
It,
I
has,
don't-
it claims anti-nick technology.
I put no motors near my junk.
I don't mind motors near my junk. It's whatever.
Skin safe technology, trademarked.
Oh shit.
Trademark.
Yeah. So usually I just take a face trimmer to it. Just buzz cut the balls.
No.
I
Yeah,
want,
it's fine.
and it's not. I don't think they're that expensive.
No. I've seen them like locally. They seem fine. They're
I
fine.
feel like I need to get one and then issue a review on
yeah,
the podcast.
do it, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to know your experience with this thing.
because I'm pretty regular about my manscaping and stuff, and
And when I've bicked it, I generally don't have a problem on the shaft or the balls. It's when we get into darker regions.
pug territory.
Mhm.
We
Well,
get
like
into darker regions, and I nick myself shaving, except that it's in the space between your balls and your asshole, and I would just choose the sweet release of death over that.
What kind of razor do you use?
Some sort of 3-headed, 4-headed Gillette thing.
Just standard safety
yeah.
razor.
Yep.
Okay.
That's too many blades for the junk, man.
Should I use a lady's razor? Like downgrade them blades?
You should use less blades, I think.
I don't know if that plays a
Good
part in it.
blades.
Now I will say
Less
this: I
blades.
use my Dollar Shave Club razors because I bought that. It's a fantastic service, by the way. I totally plug Dollar Shave Club. I paid for a year worth of their service, and I grow a beard, which means I don't shave very often. I have such a surplus of extra razor blades that I haven't bought new razor blades in like 3 years after the 1 year of the Dollar Shave Club. And
You need to hand some of those over, man.
well, you mean you need the
Yeah, you need the
specific
thingy.
handle for them. You should just get Dollar Shave Club. It was like $6 a month.
That's more than $1.
That is more than $1. That's false advertising.
Well, that's if you want to go with the basic blade. I went like mid tier.
Dude,
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
I'd
Starting at
almost
$1
subscribe
club.
for the Dollar Shave Club just for the
They should call it the
fucking
starting
wipes,
at $1
man.
club.
Their one wipe Charlies are
Yeah, the
are
one wipe
pretty good,
Charlies.
but it turns out that all flushable disposable
Is
wipes
not good.
are
Yeah,
bad.
I've heard.
Yeah,
I've
that's
heard
bad
that.
for your plumbing.
Mhm.
Well, okay, you say that, and I agree. That's the point that we're making. But
Yeah.
there was a misconception for a long time that like they make flushable wipes that are supposed to be fine for your septic
Mhm.
system. So
Yeah.
turns out that's
They
actually
were
not
not.
true. That's none of them should be flushed. which is unfortunate.
No, is this just for a septic system or plumbing in general?
Generally.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
It during like water treatment, they really gum up the works.
I saw some video talking about how like the sewers of New York have like one of
Yeah.
the biggest problems. But I would also wonder if those are the ones that aren't supposed to be flushable.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
knows?
I don't think there's a good answer out there. I think the wisdom is you're not supposed to use them.
The point is, I want a clean butt. I wish I could use a nice wet nap to do it because it's.
So
Bidets are where it's at.
I've heard that as well.
plugging another podcast, the H3 podcast. They had a guest on recently that was talking about wiping and his success story with
Ooh.
wiping. He said that he started taking
over the butthole.
Well, he just started taking Metamucil daily, right?
Just fiber.
Yeah, just fiber.
I had a
And
roommate. I had a roommate who did that,
He's-
and it started. He was like,
Just
it's like
regular
clockwork now. Yeah.
and clean pooping.
Yeah, those guys on the podcast, they started doing it, and
No collateral
everybody's
damage.
like, "You can wipe. I mean, give it one, but it's gonna come back clean like every time
Those
That
are
is
the most
interesting.
satisfying.
They
Yeah.
are. Yeah, you
for sure, dude.
It's like the perfect 10 in gymnastics.
Yeah,
100%.
dude.
Stuck
So
to the landing.
And apparently, some of us do gymnastics to wipe their ass. So
I think we just all need to have more fiber in our diets. Is the rule here?
that
Probably.
would
Yeah.
as we are
Yeah.
aging,
Mhm.
it's probably a good thing to think about.
Yeah,
But you can have too much, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a danger of getting backed
Gums
up.
up the word.
yeah, sure. But I think it's a daily supplement that is supposed to aid and not like it's not supposed to be the only fiber you're taking during the day.
I'm gonna do some research on that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write it down because then I'll also experiment
Quest for perfect poop.
Dude, I'm
Quest.
totally down to experiment with you, Russ.
for the perfect.
You hear that,
Someone
Russ?
called a poop
I
smith.
did.
Dude, if
We got a
if we
case.
can get our clean poops,
Is there pink kryptonite
poop
in
back
here?
and
What's
forth?
going on?
Why are you feeling a little?
I
feeling
don't
a
know. He
little
said he
gay?
wanted to experiment with you.
Yeah.
Pink
That's because he's a
kryptonite.
cocksucker.
Oh
Yeah,
Way to
buddy.
be a cocksucker, man. That's great. I'm
Quest
loving it.
for the
hey, dude, pound it.
Right there.
Pound it for the cock.
Absolutely.
Someone slipped us some pink kryptonite. They should make a drink,
Dude,
called the
dude,
pink kryptonite.
dudes, can we go to a Comic-Con all dressed as gay Supermans? We
Oh,
could have
man.
pink. We'd have pink leotard. Dude, we'd look like-
Absolutely none of us
Dude, let's
have
do it.
Superman physiques.
I know that's the best part
that
about
might make
it.
it better.
That's the best part
Dude,
about
if I
it.
was wearing fucking shrink wrapped Superman
Okay,
garb.
so in that
it
same
could be
premise,
funny.
I've always thought it would be fun to have all of us be wearing a Flash costume and moving together in a line so it looks like we're running really fast. I thought that would be
We're all
fun.
very different of
Yeah,
height,
well,
size,
you know,
and-
but
That's part of the joke.
Different
Yeah.
Earths.
Yep.
Oh man.
just vibrating our molecules.
I was talking to a fellow cosplayer and stuff up at the fair, and he's actually hanging up his cosplay hat. And one of the things I thought is like, because I really want to do my cosplay, which I'm not going to talk about because it's secret, and I don't want anybody ripping it off. But I've talked to you guys about it.
Yeah.
You just
Don't
say patent
say it.
pending.
I don't. You'd have to remind me what.
Well,
it
okay,
is.
well I'll remind you later, not on the air.
give me a clue.
It's a mashup between two video game characters.
Oh, I think I remember.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Don't you dare!
Don't say it.
Don't even say either one.
because it's gonna happen.
I know. I know one of them.
Yeah,
We should leak one of them.
No,
No.
don't even.
Just, it's
not
like
even.
a little. It's like a little nipple flash.
I mean, you kind of look like him, which I've always admired about you.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
I want to capitalize on that. I hope. Anyhow,
I was
the
hoping
main
I could
point-
get you to accidentally do it.
Yeah, I was trying.
No, he's not a child. What? Like
Yes.
what?
It doesn't mean you can't treat him
Fuck
like
you.
one.
No, yeah, I can't let that shit out. It's too good. It's too good, and no one's done it.
It is pretty good.
But what we ran into is like I think he's a couple years, maybe like I don't know how old he is. I think he's older than me. But you run into that weird aspect of like how old is too old to keep going to cons and cosplaying, because it gets really awkward at some points in the convention with how many younger kids are there.
I haven't been to very many personally.
Yeah, But the thing is like a lot of the fandoms are relatively new, and I think cons in general are just going to continue to grow
Sure.
in popularity. So I think people of our generation and even generation before, as long as they're continuing to go, it doesn't matter how many kids are there. There's still going to be people of your age group, you know.
But they're not cosplaying necessarily.
There's no reason they can't.
Yeah,
I
who
agree with
cares?
that.
I mean, if you're enjoying it and having a good
Yeah,
time, that's
I
what
say
it's
go
about, right?
I say go for it.
Sure.
If you're uncomfortable with it, that's fine. Don't do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, just go for it.
I would agree with that, definitely.
Yeah.
I just think it does bring up some weird aspects of.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's like it's not. You're not going trick or treating, right? So, I mean,
That's fair. I guess part of me kind of views it as dressing up, which is something a younger generation would do.
It's a hobby. You enjoy doing it.
Actors dress up all the time.
No shame.
And I think anybody can appreciate the work that goes into a good cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, they're well thought out.
Because you can always tell which ones took work and which ones didn't. Which
Yeah.
ones came off the store shelves and which ones were made by hand.
I guess it's just my bias of what I've seen in the cosplay field. It inherently seems like a younger person's game.
Well, sure, but I think that's because it only started with our generation.
I also think too, and this may just be like what I see coming out of the community that rises to the top, is a lot of cosplay seems centered around like sexuality, like like a lot of revealing.
Look at what it's
type
based off
costumes
of.
and pretty girls dressed up like that. That seems to be like the main driver of its popularity.
For some people,
it definitely helps.
yes, I'd say for the mainstream audience, there are a lot of people in the cosplay audience that actually look down on that a lot.
And I would imagine that's the case.
Yeah.
But to that end, that inherently draws a younger crowd.
Sure. Or just people that appreciate a nice body, I think.
I just don't want anybody there to be weirded out by the 32-year-old dude that's dressing up and hanging out.
I don't think.
Then don't weird
32-year-old
people out.
I can't. It's all the touching that throws them off.
Yeah, I feel
I am
if you're there
self-conscious.
and you're having a good time and you're being authentic, that's what shows.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think I'm just being self-conscious about it. Looking for an excuse to try to
Well, and ultimately-
not put myself out there.
No, dude, put yourself out there.
Ultimately,
Have a
for
blast.
you too, it's also an exhibit of your craft.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which has
It's in
another
there.
layer to it.
I mean, you
Yeah.
do it kind of professionally.
There's that.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Just say, I'm just advertising for work.
You don't even have to have a reason, man. I think it's just all in good fun, and I think just about anybody that is going to be at a con is excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. I mean,
1000%.
age definitely doesn't play a role just to attend the con at
Yeah.
all. That's clearly obvious.
No, at our last local con. I was just asking for fucking autographs from people that were cosplaying. I was like, "This is great. Can I get a picture? Let me get an autograph." I think that's just a way that I can show and that I appreciate the work that they've done and the fun that they're having. And if I can increase their fun by acknowledging that, then I think
It really is.
I think it's just
Well,
a
and
I can
mutually
speak
beneficial
to
thing.
how good it feels and stuff when someone wants to take a picture with you.
Yeah.
Like there's no, I've had, cause I go to the Ren fairs, so I've had the older women that are like, ooh, this the hunk of man meat and stuff. I got to get a picture with him. And then I've got the people that are just like, oh, I love your outfit. It's
Yeah.
really cool. Can I take a picture? And there's definitely a different vibe from both of those. And I much like the times where people are just like, I really love your outfit. It's super cool. Can we get a picture? And you feel really good about that.
Yeah, dude. I
Not to say the other one's not complimentary, but it's the vibe matters.
It's different.
The
It's
vibe
different.
matters.
I don't think you're really all that different from an artist with what you do. Instead of being it on a canvas and hanging on a wall, you're walking around in it. So when someone appreciates that, there's absolutely take pride in that. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's you're an artist.
Well, and back to that age thing, thinking back to my personal experience with the local Comic-Con, a lot of those cosplayers were older, I felt like. I mean, not a lot, but the best one I saw was the whole family as Bob's Burgers family.
Yeah.
I mean, that was great. So
yeah, if you can get
And the
your
whole reason
family
to go
have
is
fun.
we're fans.
I think
Right?
some of the most creative and fun costumes do come from older people is what I see. Because the younger stuff, it all sort of seems the same to
If
me.
you're going
Yeah.
there to hate on people, you're the one that's being weird, not
Yeah.
anyone else.
It's
agree.
probably my own fault. Then I probably I over
No,
sexualized
I think you
the concept of cosplaying because of so much of like the risque stuff that I. Feel
I think
like
it's
I don't
prevalent.
want anyone to associate me going there and dressing up with an interest in that aspect. So I was like, sure,
You also have to look at the medium. A lot of it is overly sexualized.
it is.
It just is. Like if there's anime at an expo,
Mm-hmm.
Or the golden age of comic books.
Yeah.
Everybody's
naked.
Well, all the women are anyway.
Yeah.
So if you want to be Miss Marvel from
Mhm.
before 2005,
Yeah.
You're gonna be wearing almost nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to be Spider-Woman, you're in a skin-tight suit.
And it's good for Instagram accounts and Twitter.
Absolutely.
You know.
Gwen Stacy's
I follow
outfit
a lot of
in,
those.
Into the Spider-Verse was awesome.
It was
Yes.
pretty slick.
Yeah.
It was pretty slick.
It was really good.
Which I think is
Love
what
that
she
movie.
has
I just
in her
rewatched it again the
normal
other day.
comic book.
It is so much fun. So much
Yeah.
fun every time I watch it.
Yeah, gender bent. Doc Ock was fantastic.
Absolutely.
What a fresh
Absolutely.
take on Bowl Cut McGee.
Yeah. Man, I always hated that style.
Oh, dude, Doc Ock looks. He's like some sort of
Poor
Frankenstein
kids
nerd.
across America have always hated that style. I speak from experience.
Yeah, I had that bowl cut.
I
for
had
a
the bowl
while.
cut too, dude. I got lots of photos to prove it because that thing stuck around for way too long.
Way too long.
That was Nick's fault. Nick got a bowl cut, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then I got a bowl cut, and then everybody in the neighborhood had bowl cuts.
I never really understood what it was. I never heard it as bowl cut.
because you're
I heard it as
network
bowl
of
cut.
moms.
like BULL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I never
that
understood
wouldn't
the
make any sense.
association.
Right.
And it wasn't until years later
It's like,
when
why
I
don't I
saw
have
it in a movie
horns?
and they were making fun of it and a kid was getting his hair cut and they actually had the bowl on
The
his
bowl,
head. And I was like, oh.
Bowl cut.
It wasn't bowl cut.
Yeah.
What a weird combination of like penny pinching and
Right?
bad 90s fashion. Like it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's cheap. Your parents could just cut your hair. and
Mhm.
You
they're
know-
going to do it horrendously bad, but it's okay because everyone's doing it.
The
What a time to be
80s
alive.
The 80s and 90s had some weird fashion.
So-
it's like we had to take clothes and hair and just make it as ultimately expressive as possible. Like it just had to, it had to stand out, right?
It's so bad.
One of
Yeah.
the funniest haircuts I ever had was when I was a little kid, probably, like 7 or 8. My best friend at the time and I got matching flat top haircuts. We looked like little FBI narcs in training or something,
Nice.
you know? With like blonde hair, blue eye, totally
Little
straight laced.
neo-Nazis.
Little Duke
exactly.
Nukems.
Totally. Dude, that's what it was. We got a picture of it too.
Little Duke Nukems.
I swear that's like the 90s fashion was when you go back through almost every other era of fashion, and so many of them, if not all of them, are stylish. They look classy.
Yeah.
They have like an elegance to them. And then you go like the 80s. 80s was the beginning of the end. We
Mhm.
peaked in the 90s when we just like vomited our fashion onto each other in the brightest, most garish colors and patterns we possibly could.
We
I just-
discovered
Nobody
this
knew what to
thing.
do with their hair
Neon.
or their facial hair.
I think the younger generation is going to be bringing up some weird fashion, dude. Like if you look at who is fashionable right now, the James Charleses of the world, Kanye West, like all these, the YouTube influencers, the Instagram influencers, all those guys.
But even their stuff
I
hasn't
had to have my
gotten, like-
girlfriend
No,
explain
no,
to
it's
me
gotten fucking
what an
stupid.
Instagram influencer was because we were watching The Bachelorette and they're like, yeah, most of the time, she's like, most of the time they just go on there to be Instagram influencers. And I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, like I've heard the term.
It's described in the title.
yeah,
yeah,
That's
no, it
literally
was
the
like,
extent of it.
who gives a shit?
Exactly.
though? But
That's the bottom crisis. Is like
I don't-
how are people
because
supported
you were
doing
on a
this?
TV show, so I'm going to drink the coconut water you drink because
And
that
also-
matters for a reason.
What's the point of
marketing,
influencing Instagram? Just marketing, just
on
another thing.
Instagram is hugely,
Yeah, no, dude, we're old.
hugely.
It's not that we're old. It's that
We're
the
old.
world is broken.
You can't
I actually agree
underestimate.
with him. The world's
It's not that
broken.
Yeah.
we're old. The world is broken. That's what's wrong.
I can agree
Which
to
is
that.
something an
World
old
is
person
pretty
would
broke.
say.
It's just,
But it
it's,
doesn't make it wrong.
it's
it's not wrong.
hugely,
Old people are often correct.
hugely.
Russ
profitable.
said he was an old curmudgeonly man
That's true.
already. Or was that?
I did.
Oh, you did.
Yeah,
He
But-
said
I'm
he
old
was
and curmudgeonly.
yes,
But
yes.
I've been saying for the last
Yeah.
15 years that I've been a 30-year-old in whatever age body I've
Yeah.
been in. So I've been, now that I'm in my 30s, I can start.
It's always been 30, bro.
It's always been 30?
Yeah, you've always looked 30.
Well, I mean, I tried.
No,
No,
It's
dude.
fake.
No.
Look at
I
an older
know.
picture of Russ
He's got that
pre-beard.
baby
Every once in a
face.
while, those
Oh,
come up
man.
on Facebook.
Yeah,
Gross.
It's
Dude.
not great.
going back to your chin strap.
The
The
Amish
chin
strap.
strap.
Yeah, that was
Classic
good stuff.
Russ. Russ classic.
It's just, I often think, I'm glad I had a very friendly face because
Yeah.
I've chosen facial hairstyles and haircuts that could easily translate into douchebaggery. Like, I just look at that person and be like, well, that person's a douche.
But that was in style. That wasn't a douche style yet.
Oh, I think that a lot of chin strap wearers are pretty douchebag.
Sure, but I don't think it was
took
yet
years for that to come out.
associated.
Like
Yeah.
right, it took a while for that to be a regular association.
Curtain to be drawn back.
Mhm.
Yep. Mhm.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think you got it in its prime. You got out right before it lost its luster.
Yes, had to jump on that beard game.
Time in the market.
Yeah. What is up tonight with like these
Yeah, I don't
these subwoofers going off all night?
Is that just a car running its
Yeah.
stereo?
Yeah,
That's monstrous.
I hate that shit.
Yeah, I don't get it.
More old
Dude,
man
see,
for you.
10:37 at night.
We're old and curmudgeonly, dude.
I don't know. That person is probably pretty cool. Listen
Dude,
to their
I
sound
want to
recording,
hang out
right?
with him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
I
have a
want
pair of truck nuts hanging
I'm
off the
skeptical.
back end. He'll know about manscaping.
That's how you-
keep your
yeah.
truck nuts smooth.
Yeah, all you got to do is
Yeah,
pull it like
actually,
Laffy Taffy and
turtle
go-
wax.
Do they make hairy truck nuts?
Probably.
That'd be funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Right. big old hairy
Dude.
set out there.
Or
Oh, yeah.
somebody should sell easily to apply hair to already existing truck nuts. That way you can go and put nest. Oh, yep, dude, Josh, look at the screen.
No, that's a keychain. That's a keychain.
That was still great. Go back. Show him.
Gross. that is not happy. That is not.
We're looking
happy.
at a keychain that looks like a nasty scrotum.
Oh, stop dunking it! Stop dunking it!
It's literally
He's
like a
teabagging
piece of
it.
chewed up gum.
it does.
On the
And
carpet.
like cat hair. And
I feel bad for anybody whose scrotum looks like that.
Oh
They
man,
probably need to go to the doctor.
I need to be in incognito mode for this shit. Just my search history, dude.
Amazon.
It's gonna be
Love.
fun.
Oh, this podcast has ruined my search history.
As if it
Yeah,
wasn't
sure,
ruined
sure.
before.
The podcast was what ruined it.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up! It's a good cover. That's what the podcast is about. That's been a
It's all
front
about
from my
covers.
search history
All
this whole
about
time.
I swear, it was just the stuff we were talking about.
Yeah, we're just talking about it on the podcast. Don't worry about it. Didn't
We
make
got
it to the cut.
curious and
Didn't-
looked it up.
Well, I mean, that way if you go and you don't have time to have somebody
No, I
with
don't.
the
I don't care.
browser clear
No,
history,
I
right?
don't. I don't care, dude. I don't care. Mom, sorry for the Brazilian fart porn that was left in my search history. It's fine.
So,
Brazilian.
my rant for this week has been for Disney to stop it. Like what set me off.
Stop what?
What set me off was that I saw
Yeah.
a trailer for live action Lady and the Tramp.
I knew that's what set you off.
Did you?
I
mean, you
knew
should
that's
have,
what. Yeah, when
'cause
you said Disney stop on Facebook,
Yeah.
yeah, I knew that. I knew that. Was
Wait,
it.
didn't the dogs talk in that movie?
they do. Just like in Lion King,
Lion
animals
King.
talk.
That's
Yeah.
right, they did.
yeah.
Jungle Book?
That's right.
I just like
Yeah.
I want. I don't know
Yeah,
who's
it's just getting
asking
weird now.
for it.
This is getting weird.
Well,
I'm-
they keep
I'm not
calling it live
asking-
action.
Yeah.
I'm not
live action.
asking for it.
Nobody is. Nobody
I'm
wants
gonna
them
go
to
see
do
it.
this.
Now you know what I'm really
you
excited
so
about
much.
for.
I hate you so much. Are you kidding me? You're gonna go watch the
My
live action.
girlfriend, I went and saw The Lion King. She wanted to go see that. We went and saw it. It was great. We had a great time.
You need to break up.
It was fun.
I'm telling you right now. No, I already know you and I. Like you're much more congenial about the entertainment that you intake.
Yeah,
You're
You
less
like more
judgy.
things.
I
You're
like-
a happier person.
yeah. I like to be entertained, and Disney does a good job of it.
Well, I like to be sad.
I'm a
Leave me alone.
judgmental prick that hates dumb shit all the time,
Are
like live action Disney movies.
you guys ready for
So
cats though?
What? Am I ready for cats?
I don't
Cats.
understand
You got a
what your
bag of
question
cats?
means.
You guys?
Live action cats.
Yeah. Well, it's not, I mean,
Cats
cats
is
has always
live
been live
action.
action.
It's a
No, it's coming to
movie
the.
cats.
It's coming to the theater, but it's like less live action. It's more CG.
Cat people hybrids.
Have you not? Have
What?
you not?
I don't know
I
what
still
the
don't
Oh,
fuck-
understand what's happening
I'll get
here.
the Cats trailer up here.
It's fun.
oh,
Taylor Swift's in it.
dude. It's so ridiculously uncanny valley.
Dude,
How did you get Google to have a background of?
I don't remember
these,
how I did it, but I remember it being really fucking easy.
Yeah,
Mm.
it usually is.
Uh,
Did you know you could Zerg Rush on Google search?
what? There's so many sentences that just happened in the last minute that I don't know.
Well, I'll show you in a second here. I want to see this. Is this based? Is it based off the Broadway play?
Looks like it.
yes.
That's fine. I don't.
Yeah, we don't need it.
I will. That's what.
Is it a
are
musical
there-
still?
Why does
Yeah.
this look like Avatar style?
Right.
CG.
I don't know.
That's what they're
Well,
doing.
Look
But
at that.
why wouldn't they
look at the like the tracking on these faces. Their faces are literally moving separate from their fucking
Yeah,
bodies.
I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
It's like unnecessary CG.
Really bad uncanny valley style
So
CG.
my hypothesis would be Cats is a Broadway show, and so it has it's steeped in a theatrical element, right?
Yeah.
And that's very sort of a traditional culture
Mhm.
in terms of how they operate and stuff. And so I'd imagine that having the CG
There's so much CG in this.
Yeah.
look sort of bad, it's almost like keeping that theatrical simplicity
Look at that fucking all-star cast.
But
by
I've seen,
overproducing it.
But I've seen
know?
the cast members in Broadway and stuff in their outfits,
Sure.
and it looks
Yeah,
like,
they look great.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
fantastic.
no, they do look. Yeah, no.
I don't know
I
why
don't
they
know
have
why
to
they're
be
doing this.
anthropomorphized cats.
Wow, they got some fat one with
That's Rebel
fat
Wilson.
cat boobs.
Really?
I mean, I was just spitballing there.
Yeah,
I'm
that
watching
is
this,
weird.
and I have no idea what's going on. Really,
It's so weird too, because like
I don't know why
the
you would choose to do
sexualization
that.
of like the female cats
Yeah.
having human breasts, and like the men don't have any sort of like genitalia whatsoever.
Although,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do if they've got big boobs? If
Well,
the
it
actor.
it made sense on Broadway because they were people.
Yeah.
They
They're
were
people.
humans.
They were in costume.
Yeah, it's
but
so
I
like
think
this-
these are still people in costume.
Yeah, but they could CG them out if they wanted to.
That's true.
But sex sells.
Well, they obviously
Yeah, it
couldn't have
does.
CG'd them out because they probably would have just been missing chests. Look
They
at that.
should've-
Look at that. It's garbage. It looks bad.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
they really should have just given them like teats along their abdomen.
Yeah,
They
giving them
should
more
have.
boobs.
That would've
More
been
boobs.
awesome.
Yeah.
More boobs is always better.
Cats needs more boobs.
Cats needs more boobs.
Hashtag.
Well, I mean,
Not enough titties.
what's that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie?
More boobs.
The
Dude,
three
Total
titted
Recall.
Total
Yeah,
Recall.
oh,
Sorry,
yeah,
I was having a
Total
brain
Recall.
fart. I was having a brain fart.
Yes. Total
Right.
Recall.
More boobs.
But that wouldn't be proper because cats don't have 3 across the chest.
No, but I mean,
They should have like 9.
3 in a
Nine
line.
all
3 in a
around.
row.
Just
You know,
down.
3 on each side. You know.
Then I would need 7 extra arms to give those titties.
All the
9
attention.
No,
Should've
dude,
used that.
you can motorboat them like you do with a piano, but with your face just.
Or like when you run your hand along a chain.
Yeah, but
link
everyone knows
fence.
when you touch a cat's belly, they scratch you. So you're
No.
going to get
Yeah.
messed up doing
That's
that.
true. It's very true.
Everyone knows when you. I don't know where I was going with this.
My cat takes belly rubs.
There's
she's
a rare
docile.
cat that
We were just
does.
talking about your cat last night, and she's very much like, hey, pay attention to me. Now you're paying attention to me. Stop. I'm going
Yeah.
to go 5 feet over here.
That
So-
sounds like
But
a
like
cat.
in the middle of the day, when it's warm out, I'll be petting her and she'll just like roll over on her back and let me pet her tummy and then roll
Yeah,
over to
cat
her
will
other
let you pet
side.
you. Will let you pet it whenever it wants you to pet it,
Yeah.
and wherever it wants you to pet it.
Mm-hmm.
I love cats. They are harbingers of the end times.
100%.
Tiny demons.
Have we ever thought about getting a cat?
Yes.
Is it in discussion now?
Are you afraid it's going to eat
Um,
Tango?
It would.
Well, we would get a kitten, so we
Yeah.
wouldn't have to worry about the old man getting messed up by the cat. Mostly, my biggest drawback is cat box.
Cat box.
I hate litter boxes.
I can't figure out where we would put one of those.
Train it to poop in the toilet. Cats are smart. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Have you met me? Do you think I have the strength and willpower
That
to
also-
bend the will of a tiny feline demon?
That also
No,
seems to
not at
go
all.
against the point of having a cat, which is ease of ownership.
Well, I mean, if it was pooping on the toilet, that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to
That's-
put in the work. up
There's a lot of
front.
initial investment. There's capital,
Yeah.
but
I don't,
Yeah,
I
but-
don't. I honestly feel like that's sorcery. Like if you could train your cat to use a toilet, like I'm pretty sure you
That
have
cat needs to
sold
be
your
in
soul
movies.
to Satan, and now they work for you as tiny henchmen.
Put a
I would
cat
like that
box
cat, by
in
the way.
like the toilet area.
they actually
That's
have
not that easy.
they do actually have a cat box that hangs over the toilet so they can get used to pooping in the toilet.
Well, I'm
And
sure there's a whole multi-tiered process to train
it's
your
weird how
cat.
much I know on the subject, but I've seen it on YouTube a lot where cats
I've
poop
seen it on
in
YouTube.
toilets.
I've
Yeah.
seen it.
Yeah.
And I think that like because
That's a
there's
sorcerer.
that there's
It'd
witches
real-
and sorcerers.
Would you want your cat only to be an indoor cat?
have to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, our
'Cause
street's too busy.
Cat. That's a good point. Because my cat will go in and out, and during the summer, especially when she's out, she never uses the litter box
Yeah.
Well, that's I mean,
because she's just out.
ideally it would be an indoor outdoor cat that has an indoor litter box for when it's inside.
Yeah.
Growing up, our cat, we never had a litter box. The only time my parents got a litter box in the house was when the cat got too old and like wasn't going outside as much.
I mean, ideally I would be living in a house, not an apartment,
Yeah.
and I'd have
Mhm.
a doggy door.
Yeah.
Cat
Mhm.
could just come and go as it pleases.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I'd prefer that for all my animals.
Yeah.
Just be like, hey man, you got to go. Just go do your
Yeah.
business. I'm not your freaking prison warden.
I don't
poop
control when you
want
poop.
to poop.
This is America.
Yeah, you're a USA. I don't know. Where it's
Optimum
going.
pooper.
You're
Yeah.
a USA,
You are the United States of America.
encompassed in a free pooping pet.
Mm-hmm.
Poop where you want. You know,
That really
Freedom.
is what
ultimate freedom.
ultimate
Ultimate
freedom
freedom.
we want,
Yeah.
which we don't even have, by the way. So
It
No.
I will tell you from experience, it does not feel like ultimate freedom.
Well, not when you
I heard that
Yeah.
discussion.
Not when you
That
can't
was-
wipe. Otherwise, I think it'd be fine.
You need that. You need that.
That's why you need more fiber in your
yeah,
diet.
you need more
Yeah,
fiber.
dude.
You'll be pooping everywhere. It doesn't matter.
Metamucil.
Be like a party trick.
Yeah, but if it's yeah, dude. Honestly, with a cleaner diet, a little bit of Metamucil, I'd be pooping in all you guys' stuff.
But
Just-
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
all the poops, they were me.
Yeah.
It's me.
Special trips over to Colin's house to leave one in their closet.
Yeah, frequently.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, it's one of our cats.
Nope.
Surprise! We've got to change their food. Just
It would be. God, I want
What
to
are
find
they
a way to
eating?
sneak in. Now I'm putting this out on the airways. I can't do that. If
yeah,
anybody
Colin
listens
listens to this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Colin, I want to find a way to sneak into your house in the morning and leave really big turds of mine in his litter box and make him think that his cats
So-
are leaving these huge turds in your litter box.
You know, George Clooney did that when he was in a fraternity.
really?
Yeah, he was fucking with
I
the
did
frat
not know
brothers.
that.
Yeah, and started pooping in a cat box.
George Clooney sounds like a funny guy.
Dude, sounds like a guy
Yeah.
I'd kick it with. Yeah, for sure. That's brilliant, man.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. I've been threatening to poop in Colin's closet forever. so,
Forever.
just forever. Before you were born, probably.
Oh, I had that listed. You guys, you know about this Oregon straw law?
Yeah.
No.
We're about to be not able to buy straws or have straws. Plastic
No,
straws.
so I haven't looked it up because I waste my freaking time. But I found out while I was on the road and stuff going up the I-5 that the fast food joints, places that normally would have straws for their beverages, can no longer have them in front of the counter. They have to be behind the counter. So you cannot grab your own straw. And they're not allowed to offer you a straw. They're supposed to, like, if you request a straw, they can give you one. And I think there's an exception in the drive-thru that they can ask you if you'd like a straw, and you can say yes. But in an effort to curtail
Why would
plastic
you-
pollution, that's one of the legislations that we passed. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all for reducing plastic use. I'm all for it. I just have to ask myself, fucking straws? Like, that's where they're going to start? I think about, like, we don't even have grocery bags banned.
I think
in
they are,
most of-
though. I mean, like,
That's
are they
in
going
the
to be?
process? Yeah.
We have, like, 2 city areas to where, like, they have a tax to pay for plastic bags. And I think that's the way we're going. But, like, for the thing to get passed
I
in
feel
our,
like
in our state legislature
I feel the straw is even more disposable than the plastic bag. I have like 1,000 of those underneath my sink. I throw that straw away immediately. So I feel that's
yeah, but
even
how
more
often
disposable.
do you collect straws on a frequent basis as you do other plastic items, which would be way more intelligent to get rid of? Plastic soda bottles and water bottles. I mean, we have bottled water. In
Honestly,
plastic.
that's
Those
the
have
biggest
worth.
thing.
You recycle those.
They-
You don't recycle straws. You just throw that away, and it winds up
That's
in
true.
a
It-
we're not-
landfill
that
and in an
does get
ocean.
landfilled.
But we're not talking about the value of the plastic, right? We're talking about the effect of the plastic.
Well, we're
Yeah.
still not talking about the. Yeah, we're still not
But
talking.
you're
about
saying
the-
you don't think that there's other plastics that we could have taken bolder steps on than to start with, than
Yeah, but,
than fucking straws.
Look at your Facebook feed. Everybody's bitching nonstop about the ban on plastic straws. I don't think we could have gotten any better. Not yet. I think once the plastic straws go away, then maybe
we
people will
didn't-
be more
I don't
open to
feel
other
like we
stuff.
voted on this.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's true.
Have any say.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean,
So-
people are throwing a bitch fit over
I think
plastic
it's.
straws.
I think
Sure.
it's sort of a gesture to be made more than anything.
yeah,
is
oh,
what
yeah.
it seems like.
Which to me
It's-
seems like it's fucking bullshit. Like,
Yeah,
if
no,
you
that's what I
you're a
mean,
State
is it-
legislature
is
and stuff.
bullshit.
That's the time you spent time writing up, drafting, presenting
Mhm.
this, this proposal and stuff to start eliminating straw use. It's just like, why didn't you pick a better.
Well, and the interesting thing is, everything you mentioned does nothing to curtail the actual manufacturing of straws.
Or you getting the straw.
Yeah.
You get a soda at a fast food restaurant and they don't give you a fucking straw. The first thing you're going to do is like, can I get a straw? And then they give you one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was literally had like a 15-minute discussion with some of the clerks like in Arby's up north, and they're like, we haven't had a single person not ask us for a straw since we started doing it. And I'm like, of course.
Because
Well,
it's
you
because it's
didn't
an empty gesture, dude.
Yeah, you didn't redesign the cup.
Yeah.
You have a cup it's closed until you put a straw through it.
It's an empty gesture.
So you're just asking for our government to be effective? Is that what it is?
Yes.
That's a big ask.
Find a
dude.
better
It is a
use of
pretty
your
big
time.
ask.
I mean, yeah, when we have stupid shit like the Republicans just choosing not to show up to work and stuff to avoid
Yeah.
voting on things. But I don't want to get too far into politics because,
Yeah.
man, I'll get angry at fight else.
Well, there's a lot to talk about.
Well, it's a rabbit hole to go
we went to
down
Arby's
into.
too.
Oh, my goodness. You're like an angry caveman.
Sexy angry caveman.
Well,
I mean,
that's the pink kryptonite talking.
Car looks good.
Oh yeah, the car too.
Which you guys would
Car
told me
looks
you're going
great.
to Arby's.
We did not have to ask for that straw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that it hasn't really been implemented. I think I was at Panda Express today, and she gave me a straw from behind the counter. So I think that some places, from what I heard, like I said, didn't read about it, you get charged like $25 fine for each person that is able to get a straw without having to ask for it.
That's,
Yeah, who's enforcing that?
Yeah.
Extreme liberal hippies, like the people that are like gung-ho about every little bit.
Yeah, but
Say
they
plan.
can't actually hand out the fines.
No, but they could tattle.
Yeah, they could report it, but I mean, are the cops going to show up?
Yeah.
The only reason I list them is because there's not like an agent of the government
Yeah, exactly.
going around
That's-
monitoring
yeah,
that stuff.
that's my
It's
point.
going to be self-reporting essentially.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
it's going to be self-reporting. There's going to be one major case ever, that comes of
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's
And it pretty much comes down to
landmark
like
case.
most places probably won't do it until they get hit with one of the fines,
Yeah.
and then they're like, okay, now we'll do it.
Mhm.
There's always other alternatives too, like the paper straws. I've never used one. Never
Yeah,
used
why
one.
not just start using
Why
them?
wouldn't they have just
But-
passed laws like all
Yeah.
straws have to be paper straws
Yeah.
now?
That's
I
what I was
know.
thinking as you were saying that. I was like, there is an alternative technology, right?
There's also things like well-constructed lids, like coffee cup style lids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to drink my soda that way, though.
I think it's fine.
Most people don't.
You'd
I
end
like
up drinking your soda
because-
slower, right?
I don't want to drink my soda that way. I don't have to say more than that. Like,
You're like, I want you to elaborate. You're
Jesus,
like,
nope.
man, whoa.
no, that's just
it's not how I did it. It's not how my daddy did it.
it's not how America does it. No, but or switch. I mean, like hemp plastics break down really fast. You want a plastic straw?
That's true. I mean,
Hemp plastic straw.
what happened to the push for hemp?
I don't know. It kind of,
It's going. Yeah.
it's
It-
full.
it-
Is it
it's
good?
So
People are
I
building
actually-
farms.
I
and
know
all
about
that
this.
shit.
So Obama signed in legislation when he was in office and stuff that reclassified the differences between THC cannabis and non-THC carrying cannabis for hemp use.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that allowed a lot of American farmers and stuff to start cultivating hemp specifically. But I know that I think it's a temporary thing, and they're now writing legislature to like pass that into like an actual law.
Mhm.
And what it is doing is specifically separating the definitions between cannabis with THC and with no THC, or I think it has to be like below like 0.05%.
Interestingly, when I was working at the bank, there was a memo that went out regarding the language use around hemp businesses.
right?
And what we could do versus what we couldn't do, and what we could talk about versus what we couldn't talk about.
That's such bullshit. Just fucking legalize it.
Sure.
Like, I mean, why are we restricting the use of a plant?
Politics.
Yeah.
It's
Right?
100% all politics. I mean,
It's
well,
always
the
about
only reason
politics.
hemp ever got banned, we were growing hemp up until like the 1970s.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think you were actually
It's because it's a threat.
you
to
were
other industry.
required by law to grow hemp when you first came to this country, like when the country was being founded.
Mhm.
You were required
for rope.
by law. Clothing,
Yeah,
Clothing.
textiles.
Yeah,
Just
it's
textiles.
a great textile.
Yeah.
Right?
but that's funny to think that like.
But now in this day and age with the hempcrete The hempcrete, it's
I've seen
concrete,
that.
but with its
Yeah.
its primary function is hemp, and you can screen print a house
Yeah.
with hempcrete.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, at the very least, with this mass revelation stuff, that marijuana is not the fucking
Not the
devil's
devil.
lettuce.
Yeah.
You get the lax laws on hemp and stuff seems to be coming through, and that's the
The
step in
old
right
jazz
direction.
cabbage.
You know, I kind of miss the times when it was the devil's lettuce.
So actually,
Yeah.
speaking of marijuana, I thought about something the other day. It's like haven't been liking the way that I feel recently when I've been getting stoned. So I was kind of looking at it, it's like maybe I just need to cut back on how potent it is, and there's something to be said about that. So I was watching some YouTube videos, and there used to be a very narrow margin and older pot between like its CBD value and its THC value. It used to be much closer, and as time goes on, we start growing for THC potency because you want the stronger high. That CBD value is gone by the wayside, and the THC is actually it's a psychotic. It will can cause psychosis and stuff like that. Obviously, it's extremely rare and massive quantities, and you have pre-existing conditions, all that. But the CBD value is a counter effect to that THC. Like it counteracts the psychoactive effects and stuff, so you don't have as much of the paranoia and dangers of exacerbating any sort of pre-existing mental illness.
So ideally, you should be at like 50-50.
Yes, and
All
so
things in
I
balance.
was just talking to Genesee the other day, and she's talking about you can get 1-to-1s.
Yeah, 1-to-1.
So like I think I'm going to try that out. The other aspect is I don't like the fact like if I have a joint, I can light it up. I take like one puff, and I know that's going to put. I'm already probably going to be too high, so I put it out. So there's no aspect of sitting there and relaxing, and enjoying smoking because I take a hit, put it out, done. I would like to be able to have maybe like, a mellow experience of just sitting there and kind of puffing on some low THC, high CBD stuff and enjoy the experience a little bit more.
Well, I feel what you should do then for that, I've done this before, is I'll buy a high CBD weed and a high THC weed, and then I'll grind them and roast them together in my bong, or in your case, you roll them up in a joint. And, you have to
But I
roll
mean, if
your
I
own
could just
joint.
buy the weed, that's why would I
buy
want
a
to mix
cone
them?
or whatever. Yeah.
Well, I think talking the 1-to-1s, it's more of a vape.
Oh, it has to be
idea.
in oil.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I'll look into it.
Or
Another
maybe
experiment. I got so
maybe
many
we should have
quests.
just kept our hands off of it, kept it clean from bugs, and just smoked nature's fun time.
Yeah, I always get a little wary because, like, I do feel there's a spiritual aspect to smoking weed. And
Yeah.
I think that the more we get our grubby man mitts on that shit, we like to taint it.
Well, it's like food.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
processed
fucked
foods
up
and
food.
stuff like that. So
Yeah.
maybe we've gone too far.
I think we've
you
gone
know?
too far.
Need to go back to the 70s pot where it was like 4%.
Yeah, right. Where you could smoke it all day
Had
and
seeds in it.
get a
and
little
shit.
bit of a head high. Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah. No, that's
No thanks.
Yeah, I've had some garbage weed.
Well, I mean, like, you think about like the Cheech and Chong movies. Like, if they were smoking that amount
quantity.
of that quantity,
Yeah.
like with modern day.
That was also like a comedy movie.
No,
it's
I
like-
know.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, you just had that quote from was Mike Tyson and stuff. Him and his crew smoked like $40,000 worth of
Yeah.
weed a month.
Yeah.
Shit, that's a lot of weed.
Yeah, well,
Well, how big's his crew?
Somebody broke it down to where they were smoking something like, I don't want to say off the top of my head without knowing. Give me a second. Let me look it up.
Yeah,
It's like
it seems like a lot of weed.
But how many people? are-
And where are they getting the weed from? Like,
Yeah.
Well, he
I mean,
has his own weed business.
Oh,
Mike
okay.
Tyson.
Now?
Yeah, Mike Tyson.
well, yeah. Well, I mean, but when was he dropping $40,000 a
That's
month?
now.
Oh, he's doing it now, not
Yeah.
in like the 90s.
No. Now.
Oh,
No.
okay. Oh, okay. I misunderstood.
So I don't really partake anymore. I just kind of figured out it isn't my thing after all.
Yeah.
Really liked it to start out with, and then the love of it just kind of fizzled out.
I'm starting to ease off.
But
It's weird when I do ease off. It's crazy how quickly like my cognitive ability does come back.
yeah,
Super quick.
I do feel like I am missing something.
By not
smoking anymore. Yeah. I think I was a little bit more creative. I was a little bit more funny, and maybe even a little bit more energetic at times.
I know
I've just gotten older. I don't know.
I'm a little more laid back
Yeah.
when I'm smoking for sure.
Oh yeah.
And
Willing
then
to just let
I guess
things
that just
happen.
is how it works, right?
All right.
Exactly. this last week I stopped for like 4 or 5 days, I think. And what struck me was how much pain I was in that I didn't realize I was in because I was like smoking all the time. So that's something I got to figure out.
For me,
I probably just got to work out and stretch. And
Probably,
stuff.
I think all of us
start
do.
taking myself again. Oh,
What
the
is it, Josh?
dreams.
Yeah, for the dreams. When I need to smoke purely at night. Like I can cut back during the day. I don't smoke all day. That's fine. But I need it at night. Otherwise, my dreams are vivid and
That's how mine are too.
Uncomfortable, and I don't sleep well. And
I always found that I dreamed a lot more while smoking because
That's
I rarely
interesting.
dream. I think my quality of sleep was better.
That's probably it.
Yeah.
You slept harder.
I think I did.
Spent
and I think
more
that's
time in REM.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I've got sleep apnea, so it's one of those things. Where I don't,
Slapnea.
4 blunts an hour.
4 blunts.
per person.
No, like
For the crew.
yeah.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah.
In a month, you'd have to be smoking 4 blunts an hour every hour for 30 days.
I knew.
If I was
knew
a
guy that did
baller,
that.
there were times in my life where if I could have done that, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would have melted through the fucking mantle of this planet.
Well, and that would have been the point.
I wouldn't be there for the second half of the month.
Fair enough.
Smoking 4 blunts a day.
Dude,
First day, boop, Russ is gone.
my first job, there were a couple of my coworkers where I know they couldn't have been spending 40 grand on it a month because nobody makes that much money at a Taco Bell. But I'm pretty sure it was close to their full to like their full wages they were spending on it because between two guys they had a pool table in their house.
And they both slept on it.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't think they had anything else in there.
Their balls
Yeah,
touched.
they had like 2 bongs and a billiards table.
That's the name of
Living the
sitcom.
dream.
2 bongs and a pool table.
Yeah.
The American dream.
it's a buddy cop show.
It's-
Bar cops.
One of them's a weed dealer. One of them's a police officer.
Yep.
He's a DEA agent. It's like the tame version of Breaking Bad.
Right?
Breaking Lazy.
No, you call it getting up.
Yeah.
I think Breaking Lazy would be a
Yeah,
good parody.
Breaking Lazy.
Be a pretty good
It's amazing.
parody.
I like it.
Nobody ever gets caught. It's just 2 guys smoking weed on a couch.
Getting paranoid when the doorbell rings.
Oh shit!
Oh, it's just a piece
It's
of
a
guy.
DoorDash.
I think that's where we end it, guys.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
it's been a good one.
I had fun.
You guys have anything else you want to get off your chest?
Nope. Glad to be back. Disney, stop making live action remakes, please.
Glad to have you back, Disney. Stop it.
I love it.
I need drone teammates.
Andy's putting out the call for drone teammates.
Well, not to strangers. I'm putting it out to you guys.
Stranger danger.
Educate your mind. Don't let the brain cells die. Come on, it's balcony time.